His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore. I salute you, sir. His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore. Do I have the permission to tell you to continue on to do all the good works for the people of Burkina Faso? His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore. May I have the permission to tell you to continue on to develop and improve the country Burkina Faso? His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore. I ask for the permission to tell you to continue to be the visionary leader who inspires and brings hope to the rest of the people of Africa, and also use you as a case study, as a reference to call out on our leaders in our individual countries. His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore. I ask for the permission, I humbly ask for the permission to tell you to continue to be the greatest leader, African leader in our generation, and continue to give us hope, to make us believe that it is possible. We can also operate and run our individual countries by ourselves, and develop our countries and make our countries what? A developed country, and make the welfare and well-being of our people what? Great. His Excellency, I'm here to tell you that continue to do whatever you are doing. Money your food your panel any piano. This a proverb or a saying in my local dialect in Ghana, which the literal translation is: whoever climbs well needs to be what? Needs to be pushed up, or supported what? Up. I'm happy because there's something happening in Burkina Faso, and it's giving me more joy, much joy. I'm in the 7th heaven, and the reason is that Burkina Faso now has a phone factory, a smartphone production assembly factory or company, and this how we want it in the town. This is something we want to see more often, not only in Burkina Faso but also in the rest of what the individual countries in Africa. I think this is the first, or it will be one of the few phone factories in West Africa and Africa as a whole. I may be wrong, I may be right. I haven't done that research on that yet, but I think it is the first smartphone company in West Africa or Africa as a whole. Ghana had the chance to also do same with Osofo Kojo Kantaka. He's a great man. He was a man with vision, with expertise, with knowledge, with the wisdom of producing cars, of producing machineries, of producing things that most of it be imported into this country. And our leaders, our Ghanaian leaders, both the NDC and the MPP, Mahama Nado, Atamos, all of them, shame on them, because they didn't support, they didn't invest, they didn't partner with this man to scale up the man's factory or company. Supposing they have partnered with this man and invested into this man's company, we could have employed more people. By now, we wouldn't be importing most cars into this country. We wouldn't be importing televisions, refrigerators, microwaves, and so many other stuffs into this country, because this man was producing almost everything you can think of that most of them you import into this country. Refrigerators, microwaves, televisions, cars, motorcycles, almost everything, aeroplane, helicopters. He was producing all of that in this country. He had even manufactured an Iron Man suit. Yes, manufactured an Iron Man suit, which he showcased in one of his annual exhibitions. And none of our leaders had that mindset or idea or knowledge or thought to at least even not even partner Kapuna, at least even give out an amount of money to this man, that use this amount of money to boost or scale up your business and employ more people and teach more young Ghanaians to manufacture produce things like this. Shame on all of our leaders. Shame on all of them. Ibrahim Traore has partnered with the Burkina Faso, an indigenous local citizen of Burkina Faso, into what? Producing what? Phones right now, and they call it high sell. High sell. They are looking forward to what? To competing with the iPhones of the US and the Samsungs of what? Of the South Koreans. Right? And I'll be one of the first people, or one of the people in Ghana here who would love to what? Have my hands on the high sell of what? Burkina Faso. Because why not? Why not support my brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso? Why not support my African cousin or brother or sister or neighbor to what? To grow his business? Why not consume our own what? Produce in Africa? I'm going by the name Niama, and this is New Orleans News. If today is your first time coming across this content and you find value in it and you want to support, you can do me a favor. You can support by hitting the subscribe button, liking the video and sharing the video, and also coming to the comment section and coming to share your opinion and your suggestion, and we vibing together in the comment section. Mr. Tuntum, Mr. Saros of Tuntum Network has done a video about this smartphone factory in Burkina Faso, and we are here to react to it. So join me, let's react to the video.
The government of Burkina Faso is into many things, for your information. State farms, state mining companies, state processing plants, and now state smartphones and tablets and laptops, ladies and gentlemen. They now produce a smartphone called High-Cell. High-Cell, yeah, which is very soon going to be commonly found in almost every part of West Africa. And I would love to be one of the few people who have my hands on it when it comes out to Ghana.
Applaudissez again to Burkina Faso for this initiative. Applaudissez most specifically to the President, His Excellency Ibrahim Traore, for coming up with such an initiative, with such an agenda. And we should notice something. Not only is there a state-owned what? Phone factory for Burkina Faso, but a state-owned farms, a state-owned what? Mining company, a state own so many things. Now they produce their own tomatoes or their own farm produce. They've scaled it up, especially with the tomato industry. And then they are processing their own tomatoes in what? In their own what? Industries and factories into what? Into fish products like what? The tomato paste, the ketchups, and all that. So now not only are they making money from the farm produce, but also making money from what? From the finished products of the farm produce. They're also making money. They are maximizing their profit in what? In the mining what? Industry or sector too. And now when it comes to technology too, they are also going to what? Maximize or make money from what? From that sector too. Because now they are producing what? Smartphones and laptops. This is the kind of what? Visionary leader that we need in all of Africa. These are the kind of leaders that we need in the African countries, because this is a basic template. This is a simple basic template that has been used by almost all the developed countries in and around the world to develop their countries. So why aren't our leaders gearing towards this kind of template? That's going to affect us what? Positively. But rather they will gear towards the template that's going to affect us negatively, that's going to impact us negatively. Shame all of you, especially Ghanaian leaders, Mahama, Nanado, all of you. Shame on you guys. You guys are, sorry to say, you guys are slow when it comes to governance, when it comes to developing or improving the lives of the people of this country. You guys are doing mediocre things, coming up with mediocre policies, and I'm disheartened, I'm disappointed, I'm sad. I'm sad. Honestly speaking, I'm sad. And you know something that's even interesting about this thing? Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso is not going about preaching that I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. He's not going about yapping or yapping the people. No, he's doing the work. He's actually doing the work. Meanwhile, back in Ghana here, you see our people, our leaders, going about meba, may say, meba, may boy, meba, may that, meba, but do so. One example is the 24-hour economy. It was one of NDC's main policies that we were preaching about. Yeah, buy 24-hour economy. Sorry guys for those who don't understand the tree, but I'm upset now. So, and I flow like I flow smoothly on what with my Twi dialect. So sorry if I mix the English with the Twi. I know most of you guys don't understand, especially those who are not Ghanaians, right? Foreigners, right? Sorry, bear with me. 24 economy, 24 economy, 24 economy. To date, this we are gearing towards this the end of of your second year in office. And 25 economy, then land we haven't smelt, we haven't heard a smell of it. But look at your neighbor. What's Ibrahim Traore is doing?
Question: all of these people are Burkina based. All Burkina based. And they were all trained here in Burkina Faso.
Yeah, this guy, Mr. Day, trained everybody.
He trained all of them.
He trained everybody.
Wow.
He's the guy, the chief of producers, has been there since the beginning, the inception of the society. So he trained everybody. See, if you come here, even if it's for an internship, even if it's for working, you will be trained by Mr. Ebere.
Wow.
You will know how to
assemble.
Yeah, how to assemble a phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Berry, let me tell him that he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah,
let me tell him that he's doing an amazing job.
You know what? This is telling the truth. This is the unique company, assembly company of this smartphone in West Africa.
Yes, because it's not in Nigeria. In the whole of West Africa, this is the first time I'm seeing this.
We know we have one in Rwanda that is positive.
Yes,
it's not as big as this one. And we have been to Rwanda to see that they are not doing the same thing. We are bigger than that.
How many?
So this is one of the unique company of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many phones can this factory produce in a day?
Good question. We can produce what we say is 1,000
in one day.
In one day we can produce 1,000.
This is a video by a channel called Minapoli on YouTube. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. The guy literally went to Burkina Faso and covered a mobile phone assembly plant, now operational in Ouagadougou, the capital, because the leadership of that country deserves every bit of the spotlight being placed on him. Ladies and gentlemen, the African continent is paying attention to Burkina Faso because of the policies Captain Ibrahim Traore has chosen to implement, and we will support him all the way. By the way, my name is Cyrus, and this is Tuntum Network in Accra, Ghana. Don't forget to subscribe. When you find value on this network, we want people who see value and for that reason follow us. So subscribe when you find value. Thank you. Now, many African countries are creating wealth in their countries. They are creating wealth. There's a lot of investments pouring in from all sorts of places. But what's separating Burkina Faso and a few African countries from the rest of the bunch is the intent the state of these countries has when it comes to involving the people or the state in that wealth creation process. So that the whole thing isn't only centered on foreign direct investments in the country. The government of Burkina Faso is into many things, for your information. State farms, state mining companies, state processing plants, and now state smartphones and tablets and laptops, ladies and gentlemen. They now produce a smartphone called Hi-Cell, yeah, which is very soon going to be commonly found in almost every part of West Africa. And I would love to be one of the few people who have my hands on it when it comes out to Ghana.
Me too.
The Zimbabwean government, for instance, just launched a $2.5 billion investment into the production of things they import the most into their country. They are going into production of milk, sugar, pharmaceutical products, textile, fertilizers, and into mining. This is a government project meant to take back a certain market share of the economy in Zimbabwe. This is the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. Malawi just built its first fertilizer plants that's expected to produce enough fertilizers to meet Malawi's annual demand in roughly 150 days of production. So in just 5 months, they are now able to produce all the fertilizers they want for the entire year. The rest goes out to other markets. This is a winning formula. The Burkina Faso government, ladies and gentlemen, has gone into partnership with a private company in the making of these electronic gadgets. You see, everything I try to say about the leadership of African governments are things I truly mean. Yeah, and I know those are things that has the highest potential of transforming any of these African countries. If you don't own it, You don't control it.
Facts.
If you don't own the economy, you cannot control the economy.
Facts.
You cannot control
That is
inflation.
true.
You cannot control the exchange rate, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot just be a government that supervises and make laws and you sit back and collect taxes. No. You have to play a competitive.
The reason why it's important for the state to be involved in certain sectors in the development of our countries is that, number one, the state is not there to make profits. That's something we should all know. The state is not there to make profit, and I say this because every profit that the state makes is not for the people in the position of government, but it's for the general masses of the country. So any profit that the state makes, they have to share that profit amongst everybody. They have to use that profit to make sure that the livelihood and the welfare and the well-being of its people are good, are okay in building roads, in building schools, in building hospitals, in building social amenities and all that. Right? So if the state should just sit down and fold its arms and allow someone to come make profit, and foreign to come make profit in this country and take that profit away to their country, then what money is the state going to use to support or sponsor the welfare and well-being of its people? Let me break it down to you people, to a layman, right? So bear with me if my explanation you still don't understand this whole conversation about state-owned, and why it's important for the state to also be creating wealth for itself and for its people, or invest into the wealth creation of its individual citizens or people. Let's assume a father is in the house with his children, and the children are complaining that the father can't take care of them to their satisfaction, right? Like he has maybe like 10 children, and some of the children are saying, you gave the firstborn, you bought the firstborn maybe a shirt, you didn't buy some for me, so I'm not happy. Maybe you gave the thirdborn maybe banku and okros with lots of meat, but you gave the lastborn maybe just banku with just one meat. So the whole family is not happy, like, especially the children, and the father too is not happy because the father too is also tired of this whole complaints and all that. What do you think it's needed of the father to do now? Right? Let's say the farmer has only one job, right? And the children are complaining that their father not taking care of them to their satisfaction. What do you think makes sense for the father to do in order to make sure his children are happy? I believe all of us will agree to it that the father has to get another job, right? Maybe get a second or third job, have 3 jobs, so he can make more money, right? To take care of the children. That's the thing that is right to do, right? Yeah, that's what we are telling the state to do. Make more money. And how can a state make more money to take care of its people? It's by what? It's by creating these avenues, creating the benchmark for itself to make money. In creation of opportunities and jobs and right, to make more money to take care of its people. And there are so many sectors in this country that the government can enter and create more make more money from. Like the mining sector and all those places there, agriculture sector, almost all of the sectors, the government can make more money from there. And it makes sense if the father gets a second or third job because the father has the money or that capacity, right? The father knows people, right? He has friends. He has grown long enough to know more about the system, right? So it's easy for the father to get a second job or another job or a third job than it's easy for the children to go and work. So now this is the role the children has to play in to make sure that the family is strong and happy and healthy. The children also can support the father by also going out to search for job or search for work and make money and bring it back home, right? So one of the children said or proposed is going to start a banana He's going to sell banana, right, or fruits, right, in front of their house. So the little that he makes, he can also use to support the family. Another child who proposed or suggested that he or she also is going to sell maybe biscuits and toffees and all that. Another one also proposed that he or she is also going to learn a skill, right? He's going to learn maybe tailoring, how to sew a dress, right? So let's say almost half or almost all of the children are like, they are also going to do something with their hands so they get money and support the father and the family, right? Then you, the father, you sit down and go like, no, well, it's either I don't support what you guys want to do, right, in terms of going to work and bringing money back home to support the family, the whole family. It's either I don't support it, or I'm not going to invest into what you guys are doing. I'm not going to help you guys in any way. I'm not going to give you guys a capital, or I'm not going to lead you guys to go learn the skill. I'm not going to do all of that for you guys because I don't support it. And what is painful about this whole matter is that the father again has gone out to take someone's child, or has gone out to go bring a stranger into the family to come sell the same banana that his child has proposed to sell. And he is investing into that stranger to learn a skill like the tailoring skill. He is investing into that stranger to come sell the biscuits and the toffees. So now let me ask you, don't you think that this stranger is going to compete with these children in the market share? Like, he's going to share the market with all these children of the father. And let me ask you again, if that happens, don't you think the family is going to continue to be unhappy because the money, the necessary money, or the amount of money they need to survive and to be happy and to be satisfied, they are sharing this money with a stranger? This is what is happening in our individual countries. This is what is happening in Ghana. Ghana, or Ghanaians, are the children, and our government is our father, right? Our father is not getting another job. He's not making more money to support us and take care of us to our satisfaction, right? Be the children that we are also trying our possible best to survive, to make ends meet. Our father is bringing more foreign investors to come also do business, the same business that we are doing. We, the children, we are doing, is bringing more foreigners to come do the same business and share the market with us, right? What is painful is that our father is just sitting down with his hands folded and taking taxes from us too. And the amount of taxes that is taken from us is even more than the stranger who he brought in. He's taking more taxes from us than the stranger. So what do you think is going to happen? The country will continue to retard. The country is not going to grow. The country won't be happy. The people, the inhabitants of the country won't be happy when it comes to development, when it comes to growth, when it comes to progress, when it comes to nation building. I believe by now you would understand why it's important that the state involves itself into creation of income or wealth, right? It's important the state partners with its citizens to build industries and factories. It's important we don't import more. It's important we don't allow foreign people into our country. See, foreign investors are there to support you or help when you are down flat, when you don't have the strength, like you don't have anything to support yourself with. That's where foreign investors are needed, right? But with Ghana, we have almost everything. With Africa, we have almost everything that we need to grow our individual countries. We have the resources, we have the arable lands, we have the water bodies, we have the human resources. We have absolutely everything that we need to survive, to thrive.
Role to everything that is happening in your country. You must provide your people an alternative to most of the things that are actually taking the biggest chunk of their money from them. You must also provide them an alternative. You must be into food production as a government, accommodation, healthcare, and transportation. These are the things that takes money from your people. You must get involved in that. You have to create the environment for the private sector to thrive. But you don't do that and sit back, ladies and gentlemen. You get involved in the market share of ownership of your country. The Burkina Faso government owns 35% shares in the phone assembly company in their country now, and 65% shares goes to a private Burkina Faso citizen, a businessman by name Inusa Sawadogo. This is the mentality, ladies and gentlemen, I want the government of Ghana to incorporate. You have to own a certain portion of the businesses in the most critical sectors of your economy. Meaning, when it comes to gold and other precious mineral resources in the land, you should own a sizable equity in the mining industry in your country. Same for farms and manufacturing and telecommunication. You cannot just sit back. You have to be vibrant. You should not make it purely privatized, like what we have been doing. That's actually what we have tried to do in the Fourth Republic, and it has taken us nowhere. The Burkina Faso government has gone into this partnership with Inusa Sawadogo and have built this assembly plant for smartphones, which is called Horizon Industries SA, and they are making about 1,000 phones in a day, creating jobs.
Pieces of smartphones.
But in Ghana so far,
on a daily basis,
not a single time have I heard the government of Ghana building a new business for the state that's going to solve any particular problem. Let me give you an instance.
Let me also say one funny thing too about Ghana's government. You see, there's this saying in Ghana here where we go like, if any be right, as in Yakosi, as in Yakodi, as in Yadru, then Z. We start from A before we get to B, before we get to C, before we get what? To Z or Z. But with our leaders, they don't want to start from A, they want to start from B, they don't want to start the foundation, they don't want to build a strong foundation, they don't want to start from the basics. They just jump into conclusion. They just want to jump into into Z, but not starting from A and going through B, C, then D, and then to Z. They just want to get to Z. Why am I saying this? Ghana started with even production of basic appliances like maybe fridge, iron, microwaves and all that, and even the smartphones. But our leaders thought it wise, or they think it's needed for us to jump straight into what? Into AI and robots production. Right? We haven't started with the basics, so our leaders think it's wise for us to start producing what? Robots and jumping into what? Into AI. Right? Meanwhile, before you get to robots, before these developed countries got to robot production, before China are able to produce robots and now expert in what? In the AI system or industry, they started with the basics. They started with earpins. They started with what? Chargers and all that. And that is what is going to help you what? Develop the skill and become more experienced or expert in what? In robots production. But now our government are investing towards robot production. And early this year or early last year, they brought one robot and the president was there and the robot was dancing or something like that of that sort. And the amount of money that they are saying they are going to invest into it. To date, I haven't even seen that Ghana, they've come out that the number of robots we've been able to produce for the states, and how is that even helping build the country? To date, I haven't seen any AI system that is for Ghana. I haven't seen none of it. Meanwhile, they've allocated a budget and invested that budget into that industry. If not, with this attitude and decision making and actions, it's clearly these people are corrupt, these people are dumb, these people are slow, these people are just stupid. Honestly speaking, our leaders, they are just slow and dumb and stupid. And it's sad, bro. It's sad. Like, anybody who knows me personally knows I'm a humble, respectful kind of guy. But since the day I noticed and realized and understood the system and what governance entails and what our leaders need to do for us and what the people also need to do, right? concerning nation development and building. Anytime I hear of any politician, his or her name, then I just become upset. I just become angry. I just become sad. Like, there's this thing wants to come out of me to just hold or like grab any of these politicians and just scream at them, like just scream at them or just slap them, like hit them. Because it's I don't know, like things that are basic, things that are just common sense, things that a 5-year-old would even find solutions to. You will see our leaders beating about the bush around such problems where 5-year-old will even find solutions to. And it makes me really hungry. It makes me really angry. And whatever they are doing to it is affecting the masses, it's affecting the majority of the people in the country. Whatever decision, whatever action they take, it's affecting us. People are dying, people are suffering, people are crying, Ghanaians are suffering. People are dying for the incompetence, for lack of what visionary ideas and policies and agendas that will help the majority of the people. Bro.
In late July 2026, just few days ago, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture signed a memorandum of understanding with a particular private company called Oman Bapa Agritech Limited, to establish a $10 million organic fertilizer plant in Ghana. But there is no public evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that the government of Ghana owns shares in that Oman Bapa Agritech business. There is no mention of that. There is no mention of it being a partner in equity in terms of financial commitment. Last year, the government of Ghana announced an agreement with another company from Qatar called Al Jadad Group to develop a 5 billion fertilizer production hub in Ghana. And here again, there is no indication that Ghana's government is a stakeholder or co-owner of Al Jadad's fertilizer project. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how the government of Ghana is cheating the people, because it's not getting involved. So they are giving out concessions to private companies with no state involvement, and therefore these companies take over our economies.
Indigenous or local
and then
people.
Nothing changes for the ordinary people. They don't see it. They determine prices, and government can do nothing about it. So they can control inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, the kind of government system or policies that can make Ghana successful in the shortest possible time is not a private sector driven economy like they all say. We have tried that for more than 30 years already. You should know this is not working. It has to be an economy that is run with the state involved. The leadership of Burkina Faso is showing us how that is done. And it's being very competitive with what it's doing. They are involved in the building of their country brick by brick. They are not doing what we are doing here, depending on the private sector to drive economic growth. The private sector doesn't actually care about the people like the state is supposed to. The private sector is all about maximizing profit at the least cost of production.
Right.
In any case, ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's private sector capacity is so minimal and fragmented. The indigenous private businesses in this country don't even control much. So when the government preaches private sector partners, private sector led economy and all of that, ladies and gentlemen, they are indirectly talking about foreign-owned enterprises taking over our economy, because our local private sector don't actually control much. Is this what we want to promote, ladies and gentlemen? Where are the state houses that's supposed to provide an alternative accommodation to people, which will help stabilize the rate at which rent is increasing in this country? Where are those 8 houses? This would have been a perfect time and a project to be undertaken by a state construction company, ladies and gentlemen. This state construction company will build affordable homes all year round in all regions of the country for the people.
But
Nation building, for your information, works on strategies, ladies and gentlemen. Strategies which you can control. Take, for instance, the civil servants who are on government payrolls. Imagine if there was a...
So you see, I said something about it. The government is not there to make profits. The government is there to rather improve on the livelihood of its people. So, for example, as Mr. Soros is saying, if you have a state-owned construction company who is building affordable homes for the country or for the people, this is what will happen. They are going to build a house, right? and they are going to rent house or give out the houses to the indigenous or the local people, right, at affordable price without even adding profit to the cost price of building the houses. Do you understand me? They will build a house, and maybe if the house costs them maybe 10 cedis in building, they will give out the house to the local Ghanaian as the same 10 cedis without adding a profit. And even if they are going to add a profit, it wouldn't be more. Like it will be just a little, right? It will be maybe like 20 or 50 pesos at most. What must say? But with the private sector, they are there to make profit. Me, if I want to do business and I'm entering into estates, this one sector or industry. If I should build a house, I want to make more money, or I want to make money. That's why I entered into that business. So if I build a house and it costs me 10 cedis, obviously, definitely, if I'm not greedy, if I'm not if I'm greedy, I'll add more profit to the cost price. So the cost price may be 10 cedis. I might add maybe 20 cedis as profit to the 10 cedis and sell it to someone else, right? So that's the reason why it's important or significant for the state to be involved in certain sectors of when it comes to or concerning nation development and nation building.
State construction company that built homes for them through installment payments. This will take a lot of burden from workers in terms of their accommodations when they retire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we need. Traore keeps showing us the way. And like I've always said, if he is allowed to lead Burkina Faso in the next 10 years, the people of Burkina Faso will live a more quality life than in Ghana. That country will become the talk of the continent. You need to own your resources and participate in driving your economy, or else you have nothing. You have nothing. What will work for us in Ghana is that a government doesn't come in as a referee, but also as a central midfielder. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching till then. I'll see you in the next one. It is bye for now.
I like this analogy, this football reference. I like it. I like it. Hope if you enjoyed the video. Applaudissez to Burkina Faso for this initiative for now producing smartphones in Africa, or being the first African or West African country to produce smartphones and tablets and laptops and all that technology or accessories in Africa. And as I said earlier in the video, His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore, continue to be yourself, continue to be a good leader, continue to help the people of Burkina Faso, and continue to inspire, motivate, and bring hope to the rest of the African people. And we support you because the food we are planning here, I go by the name Niama, and this is New Orleans News. If today's your first time coming across this content and you find value in it, you've enjoyed it, you find it's interesting, you like what we do, you like what I do, and you want to support, you can support by hitting the subscribe button, liking and sharing the video, and coming to the comment section and share your suggestion and your opinion. You can also do well to go subscribe to Tuntum Network by Mr. Soros Annan, right? Hope to catch you in the next episode. I'm out.